This is overtime here on OSN following a 2-0 Ottawa Senators shutout victory over the Anaheim Ducks. It is Lieber Sage and Zach McGibbon all the way in from Bell Vegas. You can probably tell not much going on in Bell Vegas if Zach has time to join us this afternoon. Good to have you back, Zach. Pretty tidy 2-0 win here for the Ottawa Senators on a Saturday afternoon.
Yeah, I thought it was a solid win for them. That second period always seems to be something that's a real big period for the Sens, and I thought that they were very aggressive going after pucks, especially in the boards. It seemed like no matter how many times the Anaheim Ducks had the puck, it just seemed like there was at least one or two Senators that were on them and just really going after the Ducks. And I thought they played a really strong game this afternoon. And I thought that the player that stood out for me, and I think it stood out for a lot of people, was Jordan Spence. I thought was really good this afternoon.
Yeah, I mean, he was playing some elevated minutes. I always get a little bit, I'm just jaded, Zach. Sometimes, and it doesn't mean he didn't play well. I'm just looking, I noticed him on the ice and I'm looking at his numbers. Yeah, I mean, he had 22-25 in the game with some elevated minutes, had 3 shots on goal, did give away the puck 3 times in this game. But one of the things that I always get a little bit, I shouldn't tell the story right off the top, but hey, it's my show. When I went in one day to cover the 67s and we were doing a game and Logan Couture was the scouts were there to see him. And it was like, we're going to make Logan Couture look like a star. I'm like, what do you mean? Like, the game's going to play out the way it's going to play out. They're like, no. We're going to show you that Logan played well defensively. We're going to show you his faces. We're going to show you him back checking. We're not going to show the other stuff. And TSN did a pretty good job at showing you all of the good things that Jordan Spence did in this game and highlighting him. And then he's doing the interview. And then this is again going in with a theme of we're going to pick a guy and we need somebody else to pick on other than Thomas Chabot. We're going to tell you that they're going to be okay defensively if the game goes this way. And this is how we're going to pivot. So I get a little bit jaded sometimes. However, watching him, he was, other than the couple of giveaways that I did notice as well, and that's why I brought it up. But when you're on the ice 23 minutes and you've never played 23 minutes in a game before in your life here in Ottawa, right? Like his highest was 21 something. He's never played 23 minutes in an important role. Yeah, that's a really good game from him. And here we are, Zach, after this is the pregame show, saying that Linus Ullmark just needed to be there to make some saves. He just, even if he's not that busy, he just needs to make some important saves. And I think if you look at that third period and, you know, the shots on goal in the third period from the Ducks, they had 11 of their 23 shots in that third period and a couple of high quality scoring chances. He made that save at the 15-minute mark where he came all the way across kind of a 2-pad slide and made that save. I thought that one was really good. He made another underrated save with about 10 minutes to go. I don't know what the Sens were doing, and they gave up this kind of mini 3-on-1 that was from in tight, but he came across and made that save and made a save on the rebound. When you don't let in any goals, you've obviously played well, but I thought Linus Ullmark, for what he really didn't have to do in the first 2 periods, was really good in the third period. That's what this team needs. They need to know, hey, if we build a lead, we can keep the lead because you're going to play well.
Yeah, and even the first 2 periods, I thought he was pretty strong. This was one of the better Ullmark games we've seen recently over the last stretch because, you know, they've been showing the graphics again. All the stats is like, oh, he's 6-1-2, and he's with this save percent. It's like, well, the save percentage is a little low, but boy, look at his goals against and his wins and all this. Yeah. It's like you got to watch the games. You got to see these games. But I will say,
can you believe that you actually have to watch the games, Zach? To
unbelievable.
Yeah, I know.
I feel like that's part of the job. So I having said that though, you see in the records like, oh yeah, there it is again, 6-1-2. Look at that, and blah
Yeah.
blah blah. I will say though, I thought that was one of the better Allmark performances.
Yep.
And to see, at the end of the game, he had a smile on his face and seemed a lot more upbeat, and that's an encouraging sign too. That felt good coming out of the game as well. So yeah, I thought that was one of his better games recently, and I certainly came up big on a couple of those stops. And there was a point where the Ducks had 9 shots on net compared to the 1 from the Sens, which is not
Yeah.
what you usually see from Ottawa. And they showed that on the broadcast. And still, I thought that Allmark made a couple of really good saves. And again, I thought he had one of his better performances in recent memory, certainly since the Olympic break, I thought.
I agree. I mean, he's one of those goaltenders that you can see when he's playing well. I won't say like unbelievable, but when he's playing well, he's at the top of the crease. He looks confident. He doesn't look slouchy. But when he's not playing well, his body language will tell you right away that he's not having a great night.
Yeah.
He's one of those guys you can kind of eye test and go, yeah, that guy doesn't look right tonight. And when he does look right, that's an encouraging thing. Now, speaking of the goaltending, Julian is in and says, good win by the Sens. I'm even more confused about what goaltender interference is after this game. It certainly played a big part in the game. So I will talk about it first.
Sure.
In the first instance of Tim Stützle, because it always seems to be, I mean, Tim Stützle around the net seems to be a given, right?
Yes, especially at the top of the crease. It's
right.
Always seems to be up there.
And good for him. So I'd love to hear different from anybody else. You, Julie, and anybody else listening right now. The first one was goalie interference every day of the week and twice on Saturdays, which is today. So twice it should have been goaltender interference. Again, I think you need to look at that play and remove it from the rest of the game, because in no way, to me, like, the Sens got a fortunate call. I didn't think, when I saw the replay, I'm like, he absolutely interfered with the goaltender's chance to try to save the puck. But that's not why Ottawa won today, and I just don't want to get into that. They got a break, and therefore they won the game. No, they won the game because they were much the better team today against the Anaheim Ducks. But I'd love for anybody to tell me on that first goal, or Ottawa's second goal, the first time there was a goaltender interference question or not, how on earth that's not goaltender interference?
Well, back in the Vancouver game, there was a big discussion about, was that a hand pass from Thomas Chabot that set up the goal in that game? And I
Shane
came
Pinto,
into Shane Pinto. That's my bad. And that it ricocheted off, and I came into the chat, said that wasn't hand pass. I know what you're trying to do, Lever Sage. You're trying to incite the fans. And
no,
whatnot.
I actually believe that.
I know you believe that, but it's also it's there's still the Lever Sage flair to it. You know what I mean? You believe it, but also you add a little bit of flair to it.
You got to tell people that you believe it. There's
of course,
is believing it and telling people you believe it.
Yeah, it's taking it from a wrestling term. You're working the people a little bit. You're taking what you believe and you're amping it up a little bit. Yeah. But I came in, I didn't think it was a hand pass, and so what could I possibly think about this one? No, I agree with you. I mean, it was. I thought that was. As soon as I saw the replay, I was like, "Oh, that's coming back." He's clearly in the crease. He's interfering with Huzo, and I just thought that it was very blatantly goaltender interference. And so when the official said it's a good goal, I was like, "All right, well, for the Sens fans, I'm sure they're like, oh, take it." But I thought for sure that was going to get taken away, and I thought it was a good challenge. And you could even see Quenneville saying what on the bench afterwards.
Well, I think even the Sens that were watching the play on all the iPads and they were almost resigned to the fact that this was going to be called back, and then it wasn't.
Yeah.
And I don't blame the officials for not seeing it right away. I do blame them for either not seeing it on the replay or deciding that Stützle's skate into the foot of Husso before he had a chance to get out and make the save is somehow not interference. And I think that's more the disturbing part of that play is that they looked at it. I'm assuming, Zach, that they saw the foot of Stützle go into the goaltender before the puck got there in the blue paint. I'm assuming they saw it. And then they elected to then say, no, I don't think it caused them to not make a save. I'm like, what? Like, so there's either two things that happen there. They either see it and they then in their mind go, I don't think it took away his chance to make a save, which is dead wrong. Or they watched a replay and actually didn't see it, which is the more disturbing one for me. Like, I don't know which, I actually don't know which one is worse now that I think
I was going to say both are pretty bad.
Both are pretty bad, but that's to Julian's point. I mean, how could you ever know? And now the problem is now you're going to penalize teams for challenging when nobody knows. And so let's get to the second one. And Julian's in on that one as well. That Shorty was definitely goaltender interference. He agrees with us. The second time you could argue that Husso initiated the contact by trying to challenge. So first of all, let's get to the fact that Ottawa did not challenge. Absolutely the right call to not challenge.
I agree.
I mean, how in a game that's going along that well, how could you put yourself in a position to like get a guy a goal and make it 3 when you haven't given them any, and now you're going to put yourselves shorthanded to do so? That makes no sense.
Plus, it's such a coin flip on what's goaltender interference nowadays.
But that's what I mean. Like you're challenging something, and then you have no idea what the result is going to be. And if it's the one side, you're penalized for it.
Yeah.
Anyway, that it's such a big issue because the referees didn't see it right away on the first one. You have to challenge if you're Quenneville, and now you're penalized because they made an idiotic decision. How could you know what's going to happen the next time? So it's my opinion that Husso did not initiate the contact, that it kind of was contact together with Stützle and him. And I still think Stützle prevented him from making a save. That's probably framed a little bit by he didn't get the call the first time.
Yeah.
So if they go to review, he's getting the call, which is another reason why you don't challenge.
Yeah.
So I do believe you're right, Julian, that I have no idea what goaltender interference is. And what hurts me in that, Zach, is that I feel like I either did know or I do know, but then I watch how they officiate it, and then I go, yeah, I guess I don't know.
Yeah. We truly didn't learn anything new afterwards.
I know.
What is goaltender interference and what isn't in today's NHL?
I'm just more confused after watching how they officiate it. Because in your own mind, when you watch it, you feel like you have a decent idea based on the rules that are there, what is and what isn't. I can watch most replays and go, okay, this is what should happen. But that's not how they see it. By the way, end of 1, no score with the Boston Bruins in Washington to take on the Capitals. But I can say, Zach, definitively, and I don't know that you or Julian or anybody else would know this right now as we speak.
Oh,
so the Ottawa Senators will gain at least a point on the wild card chase, guaranteed, today, no matter what happens in all of the other games, because they won and they sit at 75 points. They are 3 back of the Boston Bruins, but they are 4 back of the Pittsburgh Penguins, the New York Islanders, and the Red Wings. So if all of those teams, because you have the Red Wings in Dallas, which is a very difficult game for them.
Yeah.
You have Pittsburgh in Utah, And Utah's lost 3 in a row. That's a difficult game for them. And of course, you have Boston in Washington. But let's just say all of those teams win. If they do, the Islanders will be in that wild card spot still at 79 points. And Ottawa at 75 now will have gained at least a point to the wild card chase. And I think that's the most important thing. Yes, you would like all of these teams to lose, but there's no way that they can be more than 4 back. So they've gained at least 1 already with the win. And can they gain another one? Well, the way that they're going to gain another one is the Boston Bruins don't get a point.
Right.
Julian says, calls like these have been an issue league-wide all season. That's why no one knows what to challenge anymore. And how frustrating is that for teams? Because I don't blame the refs, like I said. I want to know how you feel about this.
Yep.
I don't blame the refs in the first instance that they didn't see that right away with the goaltender interference. They didn't call it on the ice because it was a very, very bang, bang difficult thing to see. But you have to challenge that. If you're Joel Quenneville, you have to.
Yes.
And now it gets to that, and everyone watching goes, okay, well, they're going to bring it back. They don't bring it back, and now you're penalized and the goal goes in. That's a very difficult spot for the coaches when the league is not clear on what's going to happen, that you're penalized if you're wrong. It's like, what if the league's wrong? What if the league gets something wrong? Are they penalized? No. But you are. So I understand the genesis of the rule that you can't just challenge everything willy-nilly, but especially on goals, tell me why it's just not an automatic review every time there's a goal. You're not going to sit there forever on, like, in the NFL, they do challenges from up top after the 2-minute warning. Or sorry, yeah, after the 2-minute warning.
Yeah, after the 2-minute warning, you're right.
And the teams don't have to challenge in that spot. Well, I don't know. How many goals go in the National Hockey League that are that, like, there's a discrepancy on how people view them, that the league just can't just take a look at these on goals and go, hey, we're just going to look at this for a minute. What'd be wrong with that?
Yeah, I don't know. The only thing that I could think of is that they're worried about, there's been a lot of talk, not just in all sports, really, about just pace of play and just making sure that the game continues moving
53
forward.
minutes, Zach!
I know.
53 minutes! Sorry, I'm taking a This Is Wrestling from Zach about 55. 53 minutes! Do you know what that is, Julian? Sorry, I'm yelling. Do you know what that is, people listening? 53 minutes from the time they drop the goddamn puck in a hockey game. So today, drop the puck. It's a 1 o'clock start, 1:07. Drop the puck. You can count and time on your watch 53 minutes that are just intermissions and TV timeouts. What the hell do they need an 18-minute intermission for after a 17-minute intermission in the first period? Please indulge me. You know what? Guys are tired. They need a rest. Oh, okay, good. We got 3 2-minute timeouts in the middle of a period just so they can rest. They're worried about pace of play. Now we're worried about pace of play. Give me a break.
For the record, that's not what I believe. I'm just saying, throwing it out there.
Listen, you're bringing facts. That's
right. I'm bringing possibilities, ideas, like maybe they're looking at this, and I'm not representative of the NHL here. I'm not Gary Benton being like, listen, Lee, we got to think about pace of play when we're talking about hockey. We can't just stop all the time,
Right, and we already stopped 53 minutes, and that's not even including skirmishes or anything after a whistle or like Oh my God. But we can't take 1 minute on, even if it was Zach, and it would never even be this much. 1 goal a game.
Yeah.
If you averaged all the NHL games, 1 goal in those games might be a little, hey, we need to just take a second look at this because it's a goal. It's the most important thing that happens in our game.
Yep.
It's not like reviewing a high stick or reviewing, it went off the circular glass, which I heard Mike Johnson talking about in this game. Like, oh, I think it went off the circular glass. I'm like, Mike, first of all, you can't review that, nor ever should you review that. Stop it. But it's a goal. It's always been and you're a big NFL guy. I hear you on Blue Collar Sports waxing on like you know the NFL or something. You're going to have to do that on OSN as well, by the way.
That's right. I will.
Yeah, well, pretend to.
Yeah. That's what I've been doing for the last many years. When it comes
I've listened to you.
Sports and news. And everything.
No. News is usually facts.
Yeah.
What you think of the Miami Dolphins quarterback situation is not facts.
What do I think of it?
Yeah, but I don't know,
what do
Zach.
I think of it?
but my whole point is that it's conjecture.
I had to think about that. It's like, did I mention anything about Tua Tagovailoa and Malik Willis? I don't remember.
My whole point is that the NFL still doesn't have a way to determine whether the ball goes over the goddamn goal line for a touchdown in a scrum or when the Eagles do it and the tush put. They don't have a way. It's 2026.
Yeah.
Come on, like we have VAR in tennis that's like, 132 mile per hour serve. Let's just hold on a second. And within an eighth of an inch whether the ball's on the line or not. But we can't figure that out in football, and we certainly can't figure it out in hockey. We have no idea if the puck crosses the line when there's a big, everyone's in the crease.
Yeah.
Anyway, I'm getting off topic. What I am doing is trying to tell you that if there were 1 goal every game that they needed to take a look at, and they took 1 minute out of your time to make sure that the goal was a proper goal. The most important thing in a 2-0 game, Zach, there's only 2 goals. Twice. That it's even possible to look at a goal.
Yeah.
But we can't do that without penalizing people. We need to, goals are not coaches' challenges anymore. Shouldn't be. You want to challenge offside, you want to challenge whatever else, go ahead. But we spend 15 minutes determining whether the skates ahead of the blue line on these cameras, with offside, but we can't spend 1 minute on 1 goal. Okay.
Nope. Seems it's coaches got to challenge it. If they're so confident it's not the case, they should challenge it and risk a penalty on that. So no, I'm in full agreement with you on this. I think that something like overseeing the goal and just having Toronto or whoever look over it and say, okay, we see it crosses the line. Is there contact in? I mean, I'm all for it. I would love to see that in hockey and just make sure, especially with everything going on with the gambling nowadays, you want to have everything be as up and up as possible and transparent. Yes. So I think it's perfect to have something like that out there.
I mean, I had the over on Bam Adebayo's 82.5. I needed.
Yeah. Very, very odd over under that they placed that night.
Yeah, but you know what? Over.
Well, what's the worst that could happen?
Julian says, I mean, soccer's got VAR. Surely the NHL could have something like that. I don't disagree. Now, with VAR in soccer, you always have a clear angle as to whether the ball goes across the line because there's nothing to interfere with that. But still, come on, we can't figure out a way that the football goes across a goal line for a touchdown or the puck crosses a line in hockey.
Yeah. Well, the NFL, we're still having people holding sticks, measuring what the 10-yard line was until only last season. So,
yeah, I
get the chain gang out. They're running out there. It's like, wow, it's 2025, and we have The guy in a little hat and the stick, making sure that it's fully 10 yards.
It's still even like guessing. I think the guy, I'm going to place it. Hold on. I'm going to place the ball right here.
Yeah.
That's where I think it might have gone.
This seems like a reasonable ball placement right here.
So
get the piece of paper out and try and mark it. Remember that game where they
credit card or whatever it was,
the thing of paper out there. It's like, wow, that's the first down. All right.
So, and the reason I'm this fired up about it is because, again, I think if you're a Sens fan, just try to think that you're in a playoff race and you're 5 points out of a playoff spot, and that goal goes against you.
Yeah. Oh, agreed.
Right? Like, and look, Anaheim's in first place. Maybe they won't be after today because Vegas and Edmonton are just right behind them, and Vegas has a chance to overtake them. So there's circumstances for them too. But I mean, just think about if you're a Sens fan that goal goes, or you do the same situation, the goal goes against you. Instead of being down 1-0, you're down 2-0, and you're killing a penalty.
Yeah,
and like it just doesn't make. It doesn't make any sense. But I have to admit, I was impressed with the Senators' effort today, but I also think that there was something to that the Anaheim Ducks played a game at 10 o'clock in the morning on their body clock. And I still maintain it sounds like it's not a big deal, but I just think it is a big deal. I just don't know when you are a player that has repetition and repetition and repetition, even when you travel and for them to come over and play. I mean, you're a big NFL guy on Blue Collar Sports. I hear you wax on about it all the time. You would know then the percentages, Zach, of the West Coast teams that play that Sunday 1 o'clock game.
Yes.
And, you know, as a guy on expert on Blue Collar Sports, that
I love this is a bit you're getting over here. I'm loving this.
Waxes on like about conjecture about the NFL on another platform. It's nice that, I mean, you would know exactly what those percentages are. West Coast teams that come to play. So say like the LA Chargers are coming to play in Miami, and everyone goes, well, Miami sucks. The Chargers are better this year. Like the Chargers are going to kill them. And then that doesn't happen because they're playing that game on a 10 o'clock a.m. body clock.
Yeah.
So what are the percentages? Just listen, it's a BCS expert, Blue Collar Sports, not the.
I was going to say the college football.
No,
okay.
Blue Collar Sports.
I was going to say the BCS system is no more, Lee. So I don't know what it would be in the current BCS, but
somehow you've prolonged that.
You'd be shocked to hear, Lee. I don't know the exact percentages as we speak on this podcast about this post-game show of the Ottawa Senators hockey game.
I
don't know. You know, the football season was over for the last couple of weeks, and you know,
to the head of the BCS there and see about his expert now. Anyway.
I know this is going to be a reoccurring bit. Like we'll be freeing up something.
You know me that well, yeah.
I got a sense I saw a little twinkle in your eye there, Lee.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, I've got something here. Got, like you were Triple H once you saw an entrance that you're like, oh, we got him. We're so good here. So I can't wait for like the next show. I come on, it's like, Zach, you know the first down percentages for the Las Vegas Raiders, right? And you know that's why they needed to get offensive line help. It's like,
right.
Look, I don't know the specific mathematics. Okay, I don't know. I'm sure it's very low because it's the Raiders, but I don't know the exact number. You know.
You're right. I got nothing. This is going to be a reoccurring bit. However, the point being on the body clocks, it is very difficult. And whether I think it's difficult or you do or anybody else listening does, the percentages do bear out that it's a very difficult thing in all pro sports for West Coast teams to come over to the East Coast and play a very early time slot. It's just not an easy thing for the body to adapt as well. That's not taking anything away from Ottawa. Ottawa deserved to win today.
Yep.
And, you know, they played like it.
Yep. Got to play the matchups in front of you. So.
Okay. So now where are we about tomorrow? And Linus Ullmark was worked in the third period, had half of the saves that he had to make in that third period. I thought he had to be very good. He was stretched out a few times in that third period. Would you be going back to him tomorrow against San Jose?
I would. I thought he played well enough to do the back-to-back and play again tomorrow. I can hear the arguments for Reimer, of course, but I think he played well enough and just strike while the iron is hot, especially with a guy like Allmark, the way he's been playing this season. Like, look like just from seeing it on my television screen and how he was reacting at the end of the game and how he was in net. And while you mentioned, yeah, he did have a lot of looks in the third, it was still, for the first two periods, it was a much of the same, I thought, of what we would usually see from Linus Allmark, where he had a little bit more than usual in the first two, but still I would mark it as, a guy that's been the kind of performance you usually see from Allmark over the last little bit. That third period, certainly he saw a lot more action and he was good. Yeah. I didn't think he was otherworldly. I thought Vali Husso had some pretty tremendous saves for the Ducks this afternoon and was the more impressive goaltender, all things considering. But I still think that they should go with Allmark tomorrow and just ride the hot hand. And you saw, and that could also be a transition because Steos, gave a bit of an update to Claire Hanna in the first intermission as well. And him standing by Allmark, which I heard that is like, oh, I'm sure Lee has a lot to say about that when we come on to the post game. But it seems pretty clear that they are pretty much standing by Allmark and they want to continue to roll with him. And I think that's going to be felt through. So I think he's going to play again tomorrow.
So I was waiting to do our game recap and go over some of the things that are important before we got to that Claire Hanna, Steve Stejos interview. But if you are watching along, you are watching my head go, yes, Zach.
I heard it. I was like, oh, Lee's got something to say about that.
You got that right. However, so yeah, for me, it's simple. I'm not even asking him. I know that sounds, because sometimes you go and ask your goaltender whether they're okay or not. I'm not asking him. You're playing tomorrow.
Yeah.
Like you are our number one guy. For whatever reason, you had a big rest in January where you weren't around. You're making $8.25 million. You just had a shutout. We need you to play well again tomorrow against a high octane San Jose team that is in Montreal tonight to take on the Canadiens. And, that's definitely now an advantage because they will not get into Ottawa till 1 or 2 o'clock in the morning. They will not have a morning skate again because the game is at 5 o'clock tomorrow. And if I'm Travis Green, I'm like, way to go, Linus. Like, you played unbelievable today. You're back in tomorrow. Let's go. And I wouldn't even consider putting James Reimer in at this point. No. One guy's being paid $8.25 million and is a Vezina Trophy winner. The other guy wasn't playing hockey 2 months ago. I'm not even thinking about it.
Yeah.
It's almost a little bit sad that we have to think about it just because of the way that he's played and some of the responses and like all that stuff, but we shouldn't be thinking about it. Now, let's get to that Steve Stejos, Claire Hanna interview live from an hour before the game that ended up playing at the intermission.
Live to tape.
Yes. So, especially regarding the goaltending situation, look, they can't do anything about their goalies right now.
Yeah.
Okay. And they are making a push. So I'm going to preface this with they are currently 3 points out of a playoff spot. They are playing really well. Even in games they're losing, they only gave up 3 goals. The one time in Edmonton, yes, they gave up 5, but they were still in control of that game. They have been playing as well as they've been playing all season long. And they can't do anything about their goaltending situation to make alterations right now. So with that, what do you do when you're the general manager and you're asked to come on and have a one-on-one interview and you're going to be asked about the goaltending? You're going to back your goaltenders.
Yep.
Whether that's the truth or not, that's what you are going to do. However, Zach, the line that Steve Staios said about we went out and we got Linus Ullmark and we signed him to the big deal and he's one of the best goalies in the league and he's propping him up and he's propping him up. And at the end of it, he says, and you know what? If I had to do it over again, I wouldn't change a thing. Steve, you almost had me. Like you almost kind of roped me in a little bit, Steve, and said, yep, you know what? I got a belief in our guys and he's getting back to the way that he was before. And it's like, rah, rah, rah. And if I had another chance to do it, I'd do the exact same thing. Well, then you're wrong, Steve. And maybe you are lying that you would do that all over again. And maybe you're just saying that to back people up and to back up your organization. But that's not the truth. Because if it is the truth, you should be fired. Honestly. And that has nothing to do necessarily with just Linus Ullmark. You have a goalie playing on your team that wasn't playing hockey. If you had to do it over again, you would still have a guy that 2 months ago was lying on his couch eating Doritos? And that's what you would do? If you had a chance to do it all over again? Come on. Come on. Like your whole plan was to have Levi Merilainen be the backup goaltender and think that he was going to be this savior if Linus Ullmark ever went down, because Linus Ullmark still has never gone through a season playing like 60 games and being the number one guy. He never has, even though he won the Vezina. So you knew that your backup was going to have to play a lot. You didn't even know that Ullmark was going to be able to be good. And so your backup needed to be a 1B, not a 4A. And again, Merilainen's a young guy. He never should have been put in that position. This isn't about Levy. It's not about Mads. It's not about anything else other than the guy who is responsible for putting two capable guys in the net in a National Hockey League season just told us on March the 14th that he would do exactly the same thing over again. Like, come on. Come on. This is the pros, man. James Reimer is your backup goalie to a guy that you know isn't going to play 55 or 60 games because he's never, ever, ever shown you that he can do that. Yeah, you signed him to $8.25 million. That's your problem. That's what you did. But to say that you would give a guy $8.25 million again, coming off a season in which he won the Vezina, where he played just over half the games, and he's been up and down. You've seen some of this stuff with Linus Ullmark. Now, if he's saying that he would go out and sign Linus Ullmark again, oh, okay, I wouldn't have signed him to 8.25. I had another chance to do it. I would never have been signing him to that much money. And if he wanted that much money, I would be second guessing myself and maybe going to find another goalie. But the bigger point of saying if I had another chance to do this, I would do it all over again. Go look at the save percentages in the National Hockey League and look at how well your team is playing and how much one thing has derailed the entire season. One. Goaltending. Because, Zach, I'm fired up, but I'm not trying to be like over the top with this like crazy opinion. They have the worst. Like, what is it? Tell me what it is. Be my fact checker. You know what? When you're on the chat, you're the best fact checker there is. I'm thankful for you most nights.
Most.
Yeah. Listen.
Not all.
No, but Zach, saying most is more than most.
That's true.
Do you know what I mean? Like I got almost no faith in the other guys. But there you are. You're fact checking things. Just go to team save percentage all year long and tell me what the save percentage is and tell me what position Ottawa's in. Please indulge me.
Well, I know they're dead last.
Oh, well, you know what? I shouldn't even need the save percentage after that, but dead last. You wouldn't do anything different. You are dead last in save percentage. And that is not just on Linus Ullmark. That is because you failed as a general manager to bring in enough support so that if one person wasn't feeling good, mentally, physically, got hurt, whatever, that somebody else could step in and win some hockey games. That is on the management.
Yeah.
Did you find it?
Yes. This is before the game, so I don't know if it's fully added up, but it is an 875 save percentage, overall team save percentage.
And what is second worst? Do you know?
I got the Sens individual one. I will find the.
I know it's Edmonton. I just whatever the
Edmonton's
number is.
Edmonton's second last. It's distance, if I recall, but
it was that save percentage was down to 869.
Yeah.
So it is at 875. That's actually an improvement.
Yes.
But let me rephrase that for people. You know, when you put out numbers, I want you to look at it in layman's terms. 12.5% of every shot another team takes, 12.5% of them are going in. That's insane.
Yeah.
No matter what thing you want to bring at me, 12.5% of every shot taken against the Ottawa Senators goes into the net. Come on. Come on, folks. The general manager's up there saying he wouldn't do a thing differently. Okay, so I had there's my say, Zach. Yeah, Leo have something to say. You're damn right I did. But I want to know what you think about him saying that. Because if you thought that Lee's going to have something to say about that, you obviously thought something yourself.
Yeah, I mean, the first little bit, like you mentioned, I thought it was just, the general manager going out and, defending his goaltender and saying, look, we have the confidence in him. And I get it. You're public facing, you talk to the media, and especially when you have a guy like Linus Ullmark, the contract that he has, you don't really have a choice but to stand by your goaltender and say, look, we're locked into this. Yep. We have to continue with this, and we're going to show confidence in him. And this is what we stand by, and this is what we're doing. I think it was going a little bit too far and saying I would do it all over again. I think you're reestablishing a point by doing too much by reestablishing the point. You could have held it back, said, look, we're committed to the guy. We're locked into the guy. You don't even have to mention the contract. You just say, look, we've signed this guy. We believe in him, and we trust him, and we're going to move forward with him. And then if you wanted to put in the tease of, look, in the offseason, we'll evaluate every player. We'll evaluate every position, and we see what we want to do for next season. Throw that little tidbit in there, sure. But to go out there and say, yeah, I would do it all over again and whatnot was in the excess. Didn't have to be said. I get what you're going for there in terms of trying to stand by your goaltender. We don't have to go too far on that.
Yeah. Look, you should be standing by the people that play for you when you're making this run towards the playoffs. And clearly they need some backup and encouraging, because it seems like if they don't, then, they don't play necessarily the best. But you don't want to give them any reason, and they are your guy. But you can't tell me that the Senators won't at least internally have a discussion on what they're going to do with not one, but both of their goalies next year. And whether that's a trade or whether that's a buyout or whether that's, bringing them back, or, you can't bring back Ullmark and Reimer, Ullmark and Marilainen. Sogard. You can't do that.
Yeah.
So you're going to have to reevaluate the goaltending position, and you will be. If you're not doing your job again. Julian says, management definitely messed up. A backup was absolutely needed last offseason. Dan Vladar was the guy I was looking at when he wasn't sticking Calgary. And, oh, look who's in. It's actually one of my favorite listeners. James says, lockdown Linus will need a rest. He is fragile. Speaking about tomorrow.
Yes.
Yeah, I'm determining that for Linus right now. If I'm the coach, you give us the best chance to win, and you're in. What would you do if you went to Linus Ullmark if you're Travis Green and he's kind of like, I don't know, kind of stretched out tonight. Don't really know if I'll be ready to go tomorrow. What would you do?
Oh, you'll know.
What's that?
You'll know when we throw you in net tomorrow.
Yeah, so if I was the coach and I went to him and kind of asked him, hey, how you feeling? If he gave me a little bit of, I'm not sure, I would still be throwing him in the net.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, because to Julian's point, if there was another better backup goaltender, maybe you would start to look at, okay, let's throw in whoever that backup would be, but that's not the case with the Ottawa Senators right now. And this is the case of you have to rely on your number one goaltender in this scenario. So,
right. They don't other teams
don't have much of a choice.
Ottawa faces a lot of backup goalies. I think they get fortunate in some of their scheduling that they face a lot of backup goalies, but those backup goalies still give the other team, for the most part, a chance to win every night because that's their job.
Yeah, they have the option. Those teams have the option to put their backup goaltender in there. So,
right. Ottawa doesn't.
No.
So, again,
and I know some will say, well, Reimer had the shutout. It's like, well, yeah, it was against Vancouver, and it wasn't Dominic Hasek in that when Reimer was in there. So that would be an ignorant comment from somebody who didn't watch that game. Yes.
Honestly. And you mentioned it before. It's incredible the opinions people have that actually don't watch the games.
Yeah.
About, well, Reimer got a shutout. Just watch the game.
Yeah.
Because if you watch that game,
you see the system that's implemented by the Ottawa Senators. You see how the goaltending is. It's like,
any goalie is getting a shutout or only letting in one goal in that game. Yeah. Bring Merrilainen, bring Sogard, bring Hunter Shepard up. They're all
no Hunter Shepard because he got traded to Laval yesterday.
Yeah, well, not anymore.
No Hunter Shepard.
By the way, I was told, and as the fact checker, you could look into this.
Oh boy.
Bolduc coming over to the Belleville Sens.
Yes. Left shot defenseman. He got traded for Jan Yannick.
Jan Yannick.
Yes.
So
I liked Jan Yannick's play. He was somebody whenever I saw the B-Sens game, he always would take at least one or two shot blocks a game. Pucks always seemed to be magnetized to him whenever he was playing. I was I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing, but
it's kind of like you with the verbal shots magnetized towards you.
Yeah, it just always seems to come after me. I don't understand it, but I was like, you know what? I keep coming back up. I stand back up stronger and then come back out on the. In this case, was Jan Yannick back out on the ice stronger and ready to play. So it's interesting, but you saw obviously with Dennis Gilbert getting called up and Sanderson gone for a bit that they kind of needed some depth, especially in the B-Sens to try and fill it. And so having Bolduc in there helps certainly with that.
My point about bringing the name up of Bolduc was not to talk about how he's going to fit into the Belleville Sens because first of all, they're bad, and second of all, I don't really care.
Well, there's your analysis there. There's your Belleville Senators analysis.
Yeah. However, more interestingly, I believe, and this is where you would need to fact check, I believe that now Mr. Bolduc is the last remaining piece of the Mark Stone trade.
Yes. Yeah, Unique was part of that last part of the Mark Stone trade.
Yeah, and Unique was the last player, and now it's Bull Duke.
Yes.
I then went on a looking for articles and people judging the worst trades in Ottawa Senators history. And I can't find anybody putting the Mark Stone trade. Well, as we sit here and how do you your Lord's
in the year of our Lord 2026?
As we sit here, Mark Stone's still a pretty good player for the Vegas Golden Knights, and I hope Bull Duke turns into a good AHL defenseman.
Yes. For my sake as well, watching the B-Sens, I hope he ends up all right.
Yeah. So, but that's interesting, right? Because I could have some good debate, and we will one day about the worst and the best trades that the Ottawa Senators have made. But certainly the Mark Stone one does not stick out as something that was good. Incredibly, on a night where I took phone calls for 9 hours of people being pissed off at the former job from 6 p.m. to 3 a.m., the Erik Karlsson is actually one of the best, if not the best trade in Ottawa Senators history, bringing in Jake Sanderson. That was their pick, or was that the Tim Stützle pick?
I thought it was the Tim Stützle pick.
Could have been they fell down to third, and then Jake Sanderson was the Ottawa Senators at fifth.
I mean, you could interchange. It still ends up as a win for the Ottawa Senators either way. So.
Oh yeah, but some of the things that that Josh Norris has turned into Dylan Cousins. There are some. It's a pretty good deal.
Yeah, and it ended up being all right. Didn't seem great at the time, but
when you trade futures, it's tough to know exactly what's great at the time.
Yeah, exactly.
Speaking of Dennis Gilbert, he played 10:35 tonight. I thought he did a pretty good job. Blocked 3 shots, and when I mean pretty good job, I didn't notice him.
Yeah, it's a good job.
No, seriously.
No, it's true. The only time I noticed him was when he checked the guy in front of Allmark.
Yes.
When he was coming. I was like, well, I guess that's one way to shut down a play is you just check him into the crease. So,
yeah,
sure.
But I didn't really notice him, and that's a really good thing for being a third pair defenseman in a game that you need to win. You don't want to notice those people. But what you will notice that hopefully doesn't catch up to them by tomorrow is in these situations that they play back to back. Thomas Chabot, again, 27-24 of ice time. And we mentioned Jordan Spence's ice time, highest he has ever had at 5 seconds short of 23 minutes for Jordan Spence. Artem Zub, again, over 20 minutes. So, and Tyler Kleven over 20 minutes. So I think this is necessary for Ottawa to win. I don't blame Travis Green whatsoever in the way that he is delegating ice time. Chabot needs to learn how to play those minutes, and I thought he did a better job tonight at not getting completely out of position and over trying in spots. But the problem is when you play that much ice time, especially for a guy like Jordan Spence that has never played that much, how is he then going to be tomorrow? Can you play Jordan Spence another 23 minutes in a hockey game and be good? Can you play Chabot another 28 minutes tomorrow and be good? This is the toll that it's going to take without Jake Sanderson. And I don't know, Zach. I don't have an answer for you whether Tyler Kleven and Jordan Spence can play 21, 22, 23 minutes and then go and do it the next night and be just as good.
Yeah, I guess it's one of those we'll have to find out for tomorrow. I thought that they played solid. Kleven had a couple of hard shots onto the net as well, and Spence again. I thought Spence had one of his better games, if not his best game as an Ottawa Senator. We'll see if he's able to continue that. But with Spence, I always thought that offensively, you could see why they like having him out on the ice. But there were a couple of moments, like you mentioned, with the giveaways that it wasn't great, and he did have some tonight, but I still thought on both ends, I thought he was solid on the defensive front. So,
Mhm.
and just to answer my dad in the chat, did they rest
What?
Jensen or is he hurt? He is
Hold
day to
on,
day.
hold on.
Yes,
Hold on. You're telling me that James is your father?
that is correct. Yes, that is my dad.
I actually can't believe it because these are like intelligent, comprehensive texts that come in.
Yes,
I just had no way to pair that with you.
you could make the correlation between the
No.
two. No,
Yeah, so Nick Jensen, Julian McKenzie from The Athletic saying that he would miss, though, at least today and tomorrow.
yeah,
He
he is
will
missing the weekend.
he will definitely not play on the weekend and with a lower body injury, and we'll see if he's ready to go for Wednesday.
Yeah.
So, and James says, because you noticed Jensen. I don't think that's positive. So
No.
I'm going to stick up for that guy.
Yep.
Because that guy has done nothing but put his kind of heart and soul and effort into it. I agree. I don't know. I would give you and James and anybody else, I'll give you hip surgery and see if you're nearly as effective as you were without hip surgery. And then when people crap on you, you say nothing, you just go out and you continue to try your hardest with one good hip. Look, injuries are a part of it, but then that's on the coaching staff to not play you.
Yep.
If
Plus
you're
he's
not good.
33, 34 or something like that.
Yeah. But I'm not going to
hip
put that on the
surgery, so
player. I'm
yeah.
not going to put that on the player. The player's giving you everything he possibly has, not going to crap on him. He's a good player. He's actually a really good player. I thought when the trade was first made with Chikrin, when he was with Shabbat, they were the best pairing on the ice.
Yeah.
Last
It was
year.
just then he got injured and
Yeah.
then
Yeah, but before he got injured, he was better. Jensen and Shabbat were better than Sanderson and Zub most nights.
Yeah.
They had a really good defense.
But also, at the end of the day, like I think he could be a solid 5-6 at the end of this. Like,
Yeah.
but
hold on,
the minutes that he's eating up is not.
Yeah, James says, but it's pro hockey league. Yes, but all I'm saying is don't crap on the player. Yeah. He's done nothing but go out there, and if you want to crap on people, crap on the coach for continuing to put him in the lineup.
Yeah.
That's coach's decisions. That's not the player. The player's done nothing but try his best, and you never heard a bad word from him. Never. So if you want to talk about the coaches and that they shouldn't be playing Jensen and they should be playing the Matt and Palos and the Gilberts of the world because Jensen shouldn't be there, okay, like I can listen to that argument, but I'm not, if they decide that he's in there, that's on the coaches. That's not on Jensen.
It was also notable in that interview with Claire Hanna and Steve Staios that the one thing that Staios did mention is that his priority in the offseason looks to be defenseman, which is an indicator to me that Jensen's probably, if there was any thought that maybe Jensen would come back, maybe in a lesser role of some sort, to me, that was an indicator of, all right, they're moving on from Jensen at the end of the year and looking to refill on defense.
Well, and by refill, it probably is more than Jensen. I think Spence has done enough to be here, but I wouldn't be, put it this way. I would take the three defensemen in Sanderson, Shabbat, and Zub, and everything else would be, we need to reevaluate what we're doing.
Yep.
I don't know that anybody has played so well that they absolutely deserve a spot. Yeah, Spence played good today and he was elevated minutes and stuff, but he's also had some, not great times for the Ottawa Senators on defense, and their system has really helped out the Spences and the Matt and Palos of the world, where Dennis Gilbert can go in and not look bad too. Like, they've come up with a really good system. But to me, if I'm evaluating the individual talent, once I get past those three guys, okay, what are we doing? And some of them I'm sure will be back, but maybe you get a 4 and a 5 in here. And then, whether it's, Spencer, Matt and Palo, or I mean, I heard him say Carter Yakimchuk again on that interview, and I'm
Yeah.
like,
Well,
what do you
he's
do?
the talk of the prospect pool in the Sens, right? So it's always going to get mentioned, but we've continued to say on here, and I've watched the games. I've seen the games that Carter has played, and
You've watched games
I've watched games.
and
I
not
know
just
it's
go on stats?
yeah,
Wow.
no, I haven't gone to Money Puck or Stat News or whatever the stats are, or NHL.com.
Yeah.
I've seen the games that Carter Yakimchuk has played, and I still firmly believe that he needs to stay in the AHL, learn to grow in the system. You can tell there's talent there. I can
Yeah.
understand why people want to see Carter Yakimchuk, because they have him quarterbacking the power play down there, and there's some moments he has with the puck. I'm like, wow, he's got talent, but sometimes it's just on the other end where he still needs to figure out his game. So he's a player you don't want to rush. And I understand there's the comps as well with some of his counterparts in last year's draft or whatever, and how they're doing compared to him. But I still think you got to stay committed to him in the AHL and let him grow in that league. They've been continuing to pair him up with a pro, like a veteran AHL guy, to kind of get him adapted into the game. And so patience, I say, patience when it comes to Carter Yakimchuk. But he's always going to be a name whenever you see anybody get called up. They're always like, but what about Yak? We got to get Yak up. And I'm like, from what I've seen, it would stunt his development if he's called up now. The only time I would consider it is if the Sens are eliminated from playoff contention. Like, let's say they're eliminated from the playoffs now.
Yeah.
You get him up to kind of get a couple of looks in the NHL level to see how he's doing.
Yeah.
That's it.
That's it. I do agree with James, like I usually do, except for his "but it's pro hockey league" statement. I think Clevin has some upside, but agree they need to reevaluate. Hensler also has apparently not been very good. So I haven't seen Logan Hensler play with, I think, a tough year and some injuries for him that has not been the best. But I agree with Tyler Clevin. I think that guy's the next in line. So when I'm evaluating after the three, I think Tyler Clevin's on the team and definitely is getting better. He looks more confident. He uses his body a bit more. He gets up in the rush a bit more. He shoots a bit more, like all of that stuff. But I don't know right now if you're a really good team. Is Clevin a 4? Is he a 5, a 6? Like where does he fit on a team that is genuinely committed to being a really, really good team now? So yeah, I think that there is some upside for Tyler Clevin. I think he's actually been pretty good. When I'm evaluating, he's going to most likely be there, but I don't know. Am I getting a 4 and a 5 in and then making Clevin a 6? And then maybe I got a really good defense score at that point.
Right.
Julian also says Hensler is also done for the year. As for UFAs, I think the options will be quite slim. I agree. And so that's where the management's going to have to make another deal.
Well, if you take Staios at his word, he was aggressive at the trade deadline, and they'll look into the offseason what they want to do. So,
yeah, I do take him at his word because I think that there is some legitimacy to the fact that they were in on Robbie Thomas.
Yep. There were the reports out there. Yeah.
Which is crazy to me. I don't think that's the right avenue that they should be going down, but there is some legitimacy to that they were kind of big game hunting with Robbie Thomas. Wasn't the game for him, but I also think I have not been overly impressed with my Markham boy, Warren Fogle.
Wow.
He played less than 10 minutes tonight. And from the forward group, it always seems to be right now that Zetterlund plays the least, and Warren Fogle is coming in second on that list in the last few games.
Yeah.
So
he had that opportunity there on the side that we just kept whacking at Moose.
Yeah.
Pat, I'm like, can somebody finish, please?
Yeah,
somebody finish on this team.
They deserved, probably 4 or 5 goals today.
Yeah.
The way that they played. The best player on the ice was Husso.
Yes.
Like he was awesome today.
Yeah. He was flying across the crease. He took that shot to his mask and
he was great. I mean, Ottawa deserved to win that game. And so that's That's why I feel about that one call that, yeah, Ottawa got a call, but they also deserve to win the hockey game. And
Yep.
so,
Two
I
things can
think,
be true in that statement. So
yeah. All right. Well, Zach, we'll give a final update right now. The latest
sure.
I have with 3:20 to go in the second period is 1-1, the Boston Bruins and the Washington Capitals.
There you go.
And we'll see, Ottawa fans cheering for Washington at that point.
Do
Other
you want to
games.
take a victory lap on your on the Sens getting a first round pick like you've been calling the last couple of weeks?
Yeah, I mean, it's nice of you to do it at the end of the program. I would have done it. Like I would have,
I thought you were going to bring it up. Like I thought
as
that
a
was coming up.
co-host and making your partner look better, which is your job to be able to do. I certainly do that for you in many occasions.
By not adding up that my dad and I correlate in terms of knowledge and whatever. Yes.
Well, maybe your dad sucks. I don't know. Maybe you do have all the smarts, and maybe that's what I was referring to. Yeah, I mean, I would have done it way before. However, Zach, for the entire time, I have told people they are getting their pick back. It's going to be at the end of the first round. It's going to be like the Devils with Kovalchuk. And don't worry, it'll happen before the draft. It's still not great. Like,
no.
It's better to have it than not. But I mean, you're looking right now at about a 15th overall selection and having like a 1% chance in the lottery to a 32nd overall pick, which is a big difference. However, it's better to have it than not have it.
Yep.
Yeah, it's nice sometimes, even when you bring it up an hour and 6 minutes into the show, that you do listen sometimes, which is more than other people do.
Look, I thought I was waiting for you to bring it up, so I was just like, no, this is Lee's. I'll but we were coming up. It was a bigger story, so I was like, oh, this is now the opportunity. We got to jump on this while we can, So 32nd, obviously, and they can't move the pick. They can't do anything like that, so they are locked in at 32. Yeah. But I think Sens fans can breathe. Considering how long this has been going on, I think people will be much happier.
Zach, do you see the sun shining
I just saw
at this moment? You see how it all just comes together. The sun just came out and said, Lee, you were right.
Here's your 32nd pick.
Well, it's better than not having it.
It's true.
That's
true. Can't trade it, can't move it. But
Julian says, I will be. What does this mean? I know it's like going to the game.
I think it's back with Tanner tomorrow. He's going to be at the time.
What does BOTG mean, youngster?
This is one of those days where am I old? Because I don't recognize BOTG.
Zach, I rely on you for this stuff. I'm old. What are you talking about? This is your domain.
I thought this was my domain, but
BOTG. I'm guessing the game. No?
I assume it's the game. Boots on the ground. Boots on the ground, Julian.
Oh, okay.
Boots on. I did not recognize boots on the ground.
Boots on the ground. Yeah. Julian's like, you guys are laughable right now.
Yeah, this is I mean, this is a bad look for me more.
Yeah, I would agree.
Like I should jump on that much quicker, but I was looking like BOT.
I would agree.
Listen, battle of the what? What's the battle for? What's the G? I don't
know. I'm looking at too like, man, I guess I should know this, but Zach should really know this. Yeah, like I get away with that stuff, not knowing. Boots on the ground.
Yeah. This is a bad look on me. We'll regroup. I'll get back to the locker room and just think about that.
Well, Julian, if you're going to the game with Tanner tomorrow, that's good news. The sun's really shining, because I can tell you that tomorrow we'll see who's lucky enough to be on the pregame show with me.
Yep.
Depending on what you're doing, Zach. But on the postgame show, Tanner will be traveling very fast along Highway 7. And coming to the palatial estates here in Ashton.
Yep.
After the game to do the post-game show. And then I think we're going to have Benjamin Soublier, who might be here for pregame tomorrow. We'll see.
There you go.
And then, of course, right into the most important part of the evening, AEW Revolution, which will be on a bit of a tape delay. So no spoilers for us. I mean, absolutely no comments about that.
Gotcha.
Because I don't know, what time does the show start? Is it a 7 o'clock?
I thought it was an 8 o'clock
8 o'clock start, which is actually good because the game's at 5.
Yep.
I mean, it's post game. This is overtime, starts at about 7:30.
Mm-hmm.
So by, depending on how the game goes, by 8:15 or 8:30.
Yep.
We'll be well into AEW Revolution.
Yeah. Well, I was gonna say, if you need me for tomorrow, it would have been a Trenton Golden Hawks game 5
but
tomorrow.
They swept the Lindsay Muskies, and Trenton's the best. Blah blah. We don't even know their opponent because they're so far ahead of everyone that everyone's competing. So yeah. Tell us about it, Zach.
So well, look, I mean, they did sweep the Lindsay Muskies. I won't just dance around and prance around and say, "Oh, they're the best. They're so good. I love this team."
Sens got their first round pick back. Sens got their first. I told you. Ooh, I told you. Told you about it.
The hands are waved. But the Golden Hawks swept their first round series. So we wait on what the other playoff rounds will look like. No Wellington Dukes in the next round. They had it reversed. They got swept by the Pickering Panthers yesterday. So we'll see what the opponent will be. I was hoping for a Battle of Quinny matchup between Trenton and Wellington.
So who could it be, though?
It would be the lowest ranked. So
forgive me for not knowing the lowest ranked in the OJHL playoffs. Forgive me.
I know. I thought maybe you would be on top of it because of the Markham Royals and how close
they're not even in the playoffs.
No, 1 point out of making it to the playoffs.
Well, why would I be on it if my team's not even in it? And while you look that up, a quick plug. I will be going tonight again to the Richmond Royals staved off elimination in double overtime in Smith Falls the other night. So it's 3-2 Smith Falls Bears as they go into game 6 now in Richmond tonight.
Yeah, that I know it's not the teams you mentioned, but same league. The Rockland Nationals look like a really good hockey team in the CCHL. They look they're better than last year. They went to the Centennial last year. So
I know. I've looked at their stats. I have not seen them in person, but I did go to that top prospects game, and there was 8 of them on one team. Like they were half the team.
Yep.
And they would put out a line of 5, so 3 forwards and 2 defensemen to all play at the same time. It was like watching different guys play against you. Like it was incredible.
So for the Golden Hawks, they could face either the St. Michael's Buzzers, the Haliburton County, or whoever's the winner of the matchup between Newmarket and Haliburton. So
so still something to be decided.
Yeah, there's still some games going on.
Yeah, people tuning in right now. I see some new viewers coming in going, who are you talking about right now?
Yeah. Look, you got to check out the OJHL. A lot happening. Buckland Cup.
But most importantly, time off for you because they swept.
That's right.
Yeah.
Which means I was getting nervous because, the Sunday game would have counteracted with Revolution. But and I'm not going to lie, Lee, I was sweating a little bit Friday because the Muskies were up 2-0 to start. It was like, whoa, I guess I'll have to get ready for Sunday. And then they came back and scored 4 unanswered and
excellent.
Won the game. So
okay, so 1-1, end of 2 now, Boston and Washington, as they await to go to the third period of play. And if you've been listening the whole time, then you'll understand this. Zach, I was like, oh my God, heaven forbid we spend 1 minute on one goal of every game so far. There's been 60 minutes in Ottawa, 20 in Winnipeg, and 40 in Boston, Washington. We've had a total of 4 goals in 120 minutes of NHL action today. Heaven forbid we take 1 minute on one of those goals.
Yeah.
To
stop
see if
the play and look at the goal and
see if it actually counts without somebody having to challenge it.
Yeah.
But the Ottawa Senators with a 2-0 victory over the Anaheim Ducks. Got a bit of a fortunate break on the goal. The second goal, that should have been goalie interference, but they outplayed the Anaheim Ducks for almost all of this game. Yes, the shots were a little tilted in the third period. Anaheim had 4 shots on 1 power play that they got in that period, and Linus Ullmark was good. He wasn't just average today.
Yep.
In the third period, he was good, and that's what they need him to be. I'm hoping to see Linus Ullmark back in the net tomorrow against the San Jose Sharks. This is your pregame show. Will happen about 4:15 ish tomorrow with a 5:00 start. And then, of course, this is overtime right after. Zach, this has been a lot of fun, regardless of what your dad has said to me privately. It's been a lot of fun.
Yes. Oh, it's good. No, my dad's been enjoying watching these and now contributing in the comments, and I enjoy doing these as well. Whenever I get the call, is get myself ready, and it's like, all right, here we go.
Fired up. I can get you fired up. That's my role, Zach, is to get you fired up. A little bit. So we'll see. We'll see if you're around tomorrow for the pregame show or not. But
yep,
it's a big night.
So if you need me, I should be good to go.
I was trying not to put you on the spot on the air, but
then I won't show up. I won't show up for my booking, and just like Zach McGibbon didn't show up. You do the whole thing on the broadcast.
Well, you've been very good on short notice, and I didn't want to, pin you down all weekend long, depending. But I would say that if you wanted to help out, then this is your program. I mean, you are most of what OSN is, because you're the fact checker, and nobody else seems to want to do any work around here.
I think Tanner does a good job of getting some facts, but I'll take on the role. I'll take on the responsibility.
Yeah, for sure. He ducked everything today, and now he's BOTG tomorrow.
Boots on the ground tomorrow, as I learned today. So,
and he's going to be late to the postgame show tomorrow. So, yeah, I mean, he's doing.
Well, he's at the game itself. It's not like he's just kicking back and just watching the Journey concert. See, this is what I like. My dad was also at the Journey concert too, by the way. My dad was.
That doesn't say a lot for Tanner. Doesn't say a lot for him at all that he was at the Journey concert. I expect your dad to be at the Journey concert.
Yes.
I am going, though. Looking forward to the Watchmen play in 2 weeks. They're a band that in the 90s were pretty popular. I love the Watchmen, but they disbanded, and they get together kind of every now and again to play. So they're playing here in Ottawa in 2 weeks from now, and very fortunate that the Sens play a 1:00 start in 2 Saturdays from now. So I'll be able to go on Saturday night. And just because I'm a little bit of a geek for the 90s music, I just saw Matthew Good and I Mother Earth going to play at Hard Rock Hotel and Casino coming up in May.
Nice.
I kind of like those guys.
There you go.
Yeah. All right. That'll be it for the music. When's the Junos, by the way? You're
I don't know.
Oh, you're a guy that should know that.
I know I should, but it's been all Oscars stuff. I can tell you what the Oscars is.
I don't want to know about the Oscars.
No, not March 29th is the Junos.
March 29th. So 2 weeks tomorrow.
Yes.
Watch for my boy and our boy of the Ottawa area. Jutes.
Oh, that's right.
Yes. He's nominated for a Juno. But apparently still nobody knows he's from Ottawa, but I know.
Somebody's got to know.
Well, I know.
Yep.
I'm the one tooting this guy's horn. Anyway, he's nominated for a Juno. He's from the Ottawa area. Married to Demi Lovato.
Yep.
And doing a great job. So, Zach, that's gonna do it for us.
There you go.
On a Saturday afternoon at 5:00.
Hang on.
Well, some of us have some work to do and go to junior games tonight. So some of us don't get sweeps and all that stuff. But I did. You didn't even ask about the most important thing is I spent both intermissions shuffling the driveway.
Both intermissions?
Yeah.
I thought you were just doing the one intermission.
Yeah, well, I would have liked that too. But first of all, I didn't realize that there was going to be a Steve Steo sit down in the first intermission.
Fair enough.
And glad I stayed for that because he would do it all over again if he had the chance, which is awesome to hear. And then second of all, I might upgrade it to the heaviest snow of the season. Like,
Really? You were
yeah, it
saying
was.
second heaviest, so that's
I was
that's
saying
pretty fun.
second heaviest, but I went out there at the first intermission, kind of went, oh, this is heavy. This is pretty heavy. So, yeah, it did take me both intermissions. Big driveway. It's like 12-car driveway here. I mean,
It is a big driveway.
when you roll in with your caravan of things and people and from Belleville, it's like
Yeah,
watching,
the cloud car that comes in.
well, I think people could picture it like Christmas Vacation and kind of
Oh, yes.
rolling in with the camper
Yes.
and
You
like
have the tree on top,
there's all
that's
you need a lot of room for that stuff.
yes. Yeah.
Now, is this before we go? James
Yeah.
wants to let people know that just for the record, I did not pay for the Journey tickets. Is that a humble brag about not paying for a band like in their 60s, or should you be paying for those tickets?
Snuck into the building, Dad? I don't know, like
Like, I get you were given the tickets and that's really nice, but
yeah.
I don't know that I'd be humble bragging about getting free tickets to Journey. Like, if you like Journey, you're gonna go to Journey, then go pay for Journey.
Absolutely. It's got some great hits. I've got Journey in the rotation on my Spotify playlist.
Yeah? What?
Yeah.
You
Got Wheel in the Sky and
what's that?
obviously Don't Stop Believe. Everybody has Don't Stop Believe. That's
say,
like the go-to karaoke song,
Yeah.
for a lot of people. But I got Wheel in the Sky. That's a good song. Other ones, this is a little bit more of a common pick, but I do play a little bit of Faithfully, depending on the mood,
What? So now we're into it here.
Yep.
We're sort of we're not going, Zach. We're not going our separate ways, which I thought at this point we would be.
Say, I'm embracing this with open arms, Lee, on what we're discussing here.
Yeah. Well, after all these years, I just can't let you go, Zach. With
we got to play some music.
I do want to know what type of mood you need to be in to hear Faithfully. I feel like what's going on?
As soon as I said that, I'm like, oh, I'm probably gonna have to reveal more information about that.
If you're, what mood is Zach McGibbon in? That
I'm kicking back and I
hear Faithfully.
I mean, it's a great song. What can I say? Sometimes you just like it's a little bit on the melodrama side, but like a good melodramatic song. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Sometimes you need a little bit of melodrama songs in your life, and you just sitting back and you're listening to it. It's like, you know what? This is a good song. I can vibe with this, as I'm sitting down in my chair or whatever,
We're going to clip off. I can vibe with this.
I can vibe with this.
Put Zach McGibbon, get the chair, the pipe, the big,
just kick it back.
The big recliner.
That's right. Knowing me, I got a record player and just put the record on and just
nothing wrong with vinyl. We should go our separate ways. I thought we were going our separate ways. About 20 minutes ago, but
that's what we do. That's what we do, Lee.
It is what we do. See, I'll give you that.
Yeah,
this is what we do, and we do it well on This Is Wrestling. There'll be a full AEW Revolution kind of post game recap of that coming out, I'm sure, as early as Monday, because I expect that to be a pretty hot night.
Yep.
And we'll see you back then, regardless of whether Ben Soublier is here for the pregame. We'll see you here or not. You're right. I can't carry things with Ben by myself anyway. Need your help to be able to do that.
Will Ethan be in the chat for that? That's what I'm looking forward to. If it's a Ben Soublier and Ethan Fink face off again.
Yeah, I hope this either gets back to him or doesn't get back to him. But this has been a non-Ethan day.
Yes,
been pretty pleasant. In saying that, catching strays at the end.
Yep, that's what we do.
It's why we do what we do. So, yeah, tomorrow afternoon, 4:15, and the Ottawa Senators will take on the San Jose Sharks, who are in action tonight against the Montreal Canadiens. Again, Boston 1-1 going into the third period against Washington right now, and most of the other teams around, like Montreal, like the Islanders, the Blue Jackets, the Red Wings, the Penguins, they're all in action tonight. So we'll see how that affects Ottawa when we wake up tomorrow on the scoreboard. Enjoy your Saturday night, Zach, and very sincerely, I do appreciate your time.
No, I appreciate always being able to get the chance to come on. It's nice to do it in the afternoon. Last time I did this, it was like midnight, and I had to do the late night, low voice, making sure I didn't have to wake up people.
Yeah.
I think it ended up all right, but I had to do all right, the Ottawa Senators game was on, and it was a very good game.
Zach was really mild that night. Why was he so, well...
There are other people that live
here. It is 1 a.m.
Yeah.
There are other people. He's getting up in about 5 hours.
I think the last thing they want to hear is me just ranting about and then Thomas Chabot, like just at the top of my head, right? At 1
I thought you were going to pick out
like
Nicholas Matin-Powell. What are you doing?
Why is he doing this? Whatever.
Yeah. No, it is always good to be able to do it during the day. All right, we will talk to you tomorrow. Thanks very much. The Ottawa Senators with a tidy 2-0 shutout victory over the Anaheim Ducks. And currently, as we speak, just 3 points out of a playoff spot. So they are in it here in the next little while. We'll be with you tomorrow. This is the pregame, 4:15, and then full coverage of the game against San Jose. But this is overtime on OSN.